Welcome back, everyone. The last set of the day, it's going to be Cats on Mars. I almost said Cats on Cats because that's what I keep calling them behind the scenes.
Well,
and Eaststorm going
we're already on
against each other.
Mars. Who gives a crap? They could be Cats on Cats.
Cats on Cats on Cats on Cats?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like getting crazier than being on Mars as Cats. Multiple
actually a
Cats
good
on one
point.
another is like actually more reasonable.
When I look at their logo now, like I peek it over your shoulder, kind of. Do you think that circle?
That looks like a
originally,
panther.
It's kind of well.
What kind of cats are we talking? Is this a space cat?
Yeah.
That's what this cat looks like.
It's a cat that is local to Mars, but also
This cat's got headphones and a mic.
In fact, he should be doing the casting.
What kind of cats are these? How do they? What?
I was going to
There's
talk about
Wi-Fi
how the
up there?
circle behind him could be a space helmet, but it completely fell out from where I was going. Anyway, we can look at the standings
This cat's
for
crazy.
this region. You'll be not surprised to see that Elevate is currently the top team overall. I believe Cats on Mars have solidified themselves as second, and I believe currently right now tied in terms of scoreline and maps is going to be Eaststorm and Retaliation. A lot of work needed on their part. This is Eaststorm's chance to kind of showcase what they've learned over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be an opportunity for sure. Negative 11 in the game plus minus is really where you got to look, because it means that even though, you look at 1 and 5, tie, really the story has been the same in the matchups and how they transpire, because you only get 1 win or 1 loss. So you look at those, maybe a 3-4 point separation from that, but the fact that you just have the negative 11 means that they're not winning very many maps. They're getting usually dominated when they play up against these top 2 teams. So it should mean that the same thing happens today unless something has drastically changed.
Well, the one player that caught my eye very early on, and I think one that has continually played well, is Counter on this team. And he was listed as the DPS for a long time, and he's played their DPS. The first week, the reason I remember his name was because he played Victor and looked really good doing it. We've seen him play the Talus. But there's been a couple weeks where they've thrown him onto front lines, and those were the weeks where they kind of caught, I want to say, just rolled over. So looking at him here, he plays an important role for the team. Obviously has like the mainstays, the Victor and the Talus in this wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I think that if you have these hit scans, in the wheelhouse, it's great unless they're just overlapping in what everyone's banning. So that's the big issue for me. Can he get what he needs to get to be successful, or does he have the ability to be an unbannable person? Because actually, when you're unbannable, like, the stuff that you want to play anyways opens up, because they're like, well, he can play anything, so it's not like banning this Talus is going to mean that he can't hurt us where, it really hurts. A Pip could actually be a worse pick for us here, but because most people don't play Pip, they'll just, standard ban Talus. Against the guy who shows he has the champion pool, they might actually ban the Pip and leave the Talus open for him.
It's like the question is, how deep are your pockets at this point? Like, how far down the rabbit hole can you go?
Exactly.
If they ban your Victor, they ban your Talus, where do you go?
Exactly.
Where do you go? Like, do you have
if a guy,
2 or more champions?
That's a perfect example, because it's like, say there's a hotel and there's a Starbucks in it. You try to buy out the Starbucks so the other guy can't do it. But if the guy can just buy the hotel and own everything anyways, then you're like, well, there's no point in trying to, like, grab the Starbucks in there. He's going to have everything. So that's the key. Sometimes you do open up more opportunities if you could just play everything.
What kind of life are you living where buying a hotel is like
a thought?
A thought?
Big boy dreams, baby.
I've never even thought about that. I'm still focused on
big, baby.
Getting to the point where I could maybe rent a house.
Do you think people accidentally buy hotels? I think you have to,
there's one person
there's definitely one dude
in the world
who
who
woke
has
up
accidentally
and was like,
bought a hotel.
Won the lottery. If people just won the lottery and then bought hotels, they'd stay rich. But people who win the lottery, statistically, within
they waste
few years,
their money.
It's all gone.
You know who doesn't waste their money or their time? Cool Matt. He's actually been dancing around for a long time. I don't know if either of those things are true, but I do know that he has been around for a little while. He's gotten the LAN a few times, and he's been looking really good since Cats on Mars have picked him up.
And I'm partial because we have a cool Matt in our building who does our videos for us. So
I love Matt.
We all love Matt.
Matt, unfailingly, I always leave a conversation with Matt happy.
Oh, of course, because Matt's happy. And I think Cool Matt is probably going to be the happy Matt today as far as the conversation. I don't know how happy our Matt is. It is Monday after the event of a lifetime weekend, so he may still be recovering, but Cats on Mars are most likely going to take the W here, and I think Cool Matt's going to be extremely pleased with that as long as he keeps playing the way he has.
The only way you could have a bigger upset than Eaststorm beating Cats on Mars here in my eyes is if Retaliation beats Elevate, right? Like,
yes.
There are two things, and I think a big reason why you see these two teams, Eaststorm and Retaliation, right now on the bottom, and it's just some of the coordination hasn't fully clicked yet, right? They're spending this is a split to me where your goal should be, and I think is as of right now, figuring out the way your team wants to draft, the way you want to play together, like how all of this all works when you get to this competitive setting. It's been a grind to get into here through the qualifiers. Once you're here, you have to figure out how do we not only stay here, but then start rising through the ranks. Of course, Splitstone Quarry is going to be the first map. This has been a notorious map for teams that are, I want to say, like, lesser, like the 3rd, 4th place teams have been able to kind of pick this map and come in and potentially win it, but how can you do it in the long run?
Well, Gore, I think you bring up a really eloquent point there, which is that you're always reacting to the level that you're on in life, and in esports especially. You know, their current achievement was getting here. Now that they're here, their next achievement is going to be a level they're not on yet, which is winning here, being at the top here. And that's going to take the same amount of time and effort that it did to get here. We saw it with Space Station 2, where their level was to qualify out of Brazil. Then their level was, okay, they always qualify, let's win games. Then their level was, oh, we saw LATAM get to a semifinal, let's get to a semifinal, and they did. Now it's like, let's be at the top of the PPL, almost achieving that as well, especially without NIP doing it, you would say they probably are. So you have to keep rising to these levels, and you have to accept where you're at. This is how you get to that next space.
I think, and this one's just me personally, I'd rather live life constantly having something else, like another thing to achieve, than be like, I'm the best, baby.
I'm the best, baby. You got your hotel bought already, and you're just happy.
You know, I woke up and my people, not even me, my people bought a hotel for me. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, we own that. Well, you know, I'm actually I think it's all good to really, like, appreciate the grind because, you know, eStorm have been grinding. They've been getting a lot of losses. So is Retaliation. Cats on Mars have been succeeding. Their level's about, we can beat teams that maybe are just showing up, but we haven't been able to take the top spot yet. So this is a level of improvement for both. Let's see, as far as the draft, the bans look pretty standard. We do see the Koga available, and that's been pretty dominant today. So will eStorm kind of go for that? We know that they'll play some Androxus here and there. I think it wouldn't be a bad pick, but obviously that would force triple DPS, and without locking in the Genos here, because the Genos has been taken, it's most likely going to just be that Barrack to hold down the front line as it comes through.
Cats on Mars get their final counter pick here, being able to grab a DPS of whoever they want. They got Victor Genos, Ash Grover. They lock in the Inara as well, so running a double support, potentially going for a binary star Genos since it's on console, or maybe they were watching the PPL last week and they're thinking Ferocity Grover with a Luminary boost because it does a lot of damage.
If you're going to pick up a Genos in a 2nd position or a 1st position and you can run binary also, it makes more value. It gives more value to the Genos. So I like it here if you're going to use it that way.
Well, we get to go see how the casters are feeling about this. Cats on Mars have a pretty interesting draft, and we'll have to see how they feel about how they're going to run it.
All right, Nick. They said we get to see how we feel, but not hear how we feel. So let's show how we feel.
So take the headset off.
Let's show how we feel about those drafts with body language.
Okay.
We're feeling. I think that averages out. That averages out to a diagonal up to the left. What I'm interested in.
Isn't that was that Gladiator?
That's Gladiator. He tilts and then drops it. The question is, though, I think 9 times out of 10, if you asked us a week ago, is it Binary Star, Genos, or Ferocity Grover? We would say Binary Star, Genos. But now, potentially, the gates have been open to Ferocity Grover. But do you still think it's Binary Star? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I want your bet in before we see it. Luminary and Ferocity is your guess?
And Ferocity.
All right. Well, that's what he's calling. Splitstone Quarry is where we're headed.
Dang it.
Ha! Ha!
I just wanted to see, it's before your time, but old Ferocity.
Wait, it's Binary Star and Ferocity?
Why not both?
Wait. Well, all right.
Hard shell or soft shell, Dave?
Soft shell, easy.
Why not both?
Why not both? So what? All right, let's dive into that. What does that mean? You get Binary Star and Ferocity. Is that just now you have so much more damage to be worried about on the side of eStorm?
They have the AoE burst healing of Grover, and they have the kind of like single yet multi-targety throughput healing of Genos, and the damage options for both of them. They don't need all of the healing from one or the other.
I guess that's
true. They
true,
don't need all the damage from one or the other. So they go kind of halfway. They have a foot in each door, so to speak.
G-Pan just kind of plugging away here on the Binary Star Genos. You're not going to miss a lot. It's actually kind of a satisfying rate how low the health bars go. It's just almost dropping there on the backside.
That is the fastest ultimate ever, dude. Holy.
Well, he hasn't been missing a lot. He's been firing essentially the entire time. Finally, some kills start to roll out here. 99% for Cats on Mars. Is he going to whip out the through time and space, though? Probably not. That would be overkill at this point. Overtime's going to tick down. Cats on Mars going to find themselves point number 1 here on Splitstone Corey. The Astral Mark buff onto the Ash there.
They're going to 4-0 this. I mean, with this amount of healing, no hesitation. They're getting aggressive. Genos is staying and getting aggressive. This is really good stuff from the boys of Cats on Mars. And eStorm are just going to be overwhelmed with the amount of healing and still damage that is coming through.
Ooh, that's a nice shot there from the Leon. Dropping Cool Matt down, but he's so low, 200 health. Not able to clean that one up. I still kind of hear that binary star, the gun in the back. Yeah, that's that sound. I'm going to close my eyes and hear it when I lay my head down. The dab counter just went up about 6 numbers for those of you who can't see Nick. He just
turbo dabbing my way through these
turbo dabbing
start routes. I love it.
Cats on Mars continuing their tear, though. 4 streaks now. Unfortunately, Cool Matt did get taken out by the Leon. Kahlua.
So you're a man of the box. You're a man of the box, Dave.
What is that?
Is Undulant Games 14 a randomly generated Xbox Live name?
Undulant Games 14?
Is it all one? It feels like it is.
Yes.
It's all one word.
It's like when you sign into Mixer for the first time, then it assigns you.
It's the formula.
It's the formula.
I've had my buddy.
It's a adjective, a noun,
Livid
and then a number.
Volcano 94. Right. It's another one.
An adverb. You're right.
My buddy has seen. I've seen.
I love the background on that. I mean, there could be a story. I mean, for all I know.
Undulant Games, and yeah, you're right. Adjective, noun, number. Undulant Games 14.
Adverb. You can flex onto an adverb sometimes if you don't, if it's not like Babbling Brook 12. It could be Angry Brook 12. I think the thing to really look at here, though, only 2 kills coming out for eStorm in that first side. 109. Cool Matt and Mr. Pickles, the only 2 finding themselves in the death column at the moment. G-Pan and the rest of the crew on some sort of streak, 6 or above. Is that, do you attribute that to the damage healing combo? I know you've said they would get 4-0'd because of it. Is that what you've seen so far?
It's a lot of sustain and still good damage across the board. That's all pretty, frankly, I mean, the Genos is landing some good shots. Like very good accuracy for sure.
Ooh, that could be good. It is good. I love it. Find some damage and a kill. Struck User's down very low now. He's getting pinched from both sides here. He'll be the next to fall. Cool Matt's going to get that one. Clever Pup's going to get the second.
Talk about walking
Kahlua goes down. Yeah, truly walking down in the most literal sense of the word. Gets walked down. Saris, Undulant Games 14 is going to be the next to go back to base here.
That nice rhythm, too. Just cha, cha, cha. Here I come. Cha, cha. Here I come. Coming at you. Coming at you.
Oh, it's perfect. That's what we...
Thanks for backing me up on that. Appreciate that.
Listen, I lift those around me up. That's what I do.
That's
what I'm best at. Up 3-0, though. Cats on Mars. And they have the ultimates. They have the Barrage. They have the Whirlwind. Assert Dominance as well. 5 ultimates ready to play defense here. There's the Assert Dominance. That's actually a very nice stun there onto Kahlua. Back to base goes Leon.
He's like, hello, any of my healers want to toss a little something my way, boys? I got a Genos and a Grover, and they're both just like, yeah, no, we're good.
Nope, we're just going to, we picked us for damage.
I'm doing my job.
I'm doing damage. A savage Clever Pup finally gets cleaned up here. So the first kind of checkerboard team fight we see here. Red and blue coming up both sides. The Whirlwind's going to top off the Cats on Mars boys here. Struck User's going to get the final kill of this engagement. That payload's pretty close here, Nick. About a minute and a half left. eStorm find themselves some space, seemingly for the first time in this set. Cats on Mars have really just had the foot on the gas since the start of this one.
Definitely. A lot of people starting to group up here on the high ground. Seismic Crash is ready. This is looking like a good one. 2 squishies in the back line, and not even with the stun, G-Pan connects.
Down go 2. Cats on Mars looking to keep it going. It's going to keep rolling forward. Cool Matt's going to be the one to take it, but Taco Bell Waifu on the Inara is essentially, look at that, walling herself up. Getting aggressive here, deep into the base of eStorm.
Body block.
Body blocks coming out. Trying to keep themselves alive. The crossfire as well, but this is so close to going in. Barrick's going to use the bowling ball and the dome shield to get himself onto the point here. 50 seconds left. Cats on Mars playing it a little bit slow here. Counter's going to find the first kill onto Cool Matt. That could buy them That could be enough potentially to buy them their first point here, but with 35 seconds left, they have plenty of time to back off, regroup, and give it another go.
Definitely. Has anyone picked up Cauterize 3 for the boys of E-Storm? ITK getting close there. Almost about 100 or 230 credits off the mark for his Cauterize 3. That's really the last bastion of hope that they have. Morale boost. That's going all in, baby. We're just picking up morale boost, spend him if you got him. Another stun comes out. It's largely
it's already back.
but it is going to be just kind of available to push this objective towards its destination.
Well, they're down 1 RE Storm. That's a good convergence. Pull Clever Butt back just a little bit right now, but the Whirlwind's going to top off those red health bars. Some kills starting to roll out here. Cats on Mars poised to take this one 4-0. And the prediction, I think you said it was going to be 4-0
After that first
immediately into the game, and you called it. There was just too much spice.
Yeah,
I think for E-Storm to deal with.
Because they're playing it right. Like they're playing the composition that they drafted, which is a lot of healing and pretty good damage. It's enough damage to get you through the early game. You don't necessarily need to bank too much on your sustain because you've drafted a nice even hand, but you will start to really kind of feel the effects and get punished for getting aggressive on Genos. Stuff like that is going to happen when Cauterize comes online, so end the game before it does.
Well, that's exactly what they did. Up 1-0, Cats on Mars. Got Goran Evans standing by on the desk.
It really does come down to, do we want to go for Grover as a healer? Do we want Genos to be our healer? And then it was just, no. We're just going to, we're essentially going to run this as a triple DPS with some healing on the side kind of loadout.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a viable strategy we've seen work. And it's just really only it's a console-specific thing.
It did work.
And we also are seeing just a difference between teams. And, we'll often talk about this in various ways. I know Nick likes to point this out and might have done this earlier today, to where you don't really... Yeah, the lineups are okay, but if you're just looking at this lineup doesn't look great, but it's NIP, or it's like a Virtus Pro playing these players versus just this lineup against this lineup. You can't look at these things in a vacuum, and yeah, they do a little bit of weird stuff, but it's Cats on Mars who have been dominant so far in this region over E-Storm, so we expect it to somehow work.
And there's two things that come to my mind. First off was G-Pan played this phenomenally, and it was actually one of those things. The first round went by pretty quickly, and I kind of erased it from my mind because he hit so many good snipes in round 2 that were just incredible. Some of them were with setup, some of them without setup, but this man was able to do 53,000 damage on the Genos, the binary star, the shots, everything. It was just clean.
Dude, if that was just half a second later, too, I mean, that would have gotten maybe 2-3 kills. Beautiful stuff from him, and again, the through time in the spaces, boom, another one. And it's just in the back line. He's a support, but he's just bringing huge damage. Headshots are meaningful. I mean, Binary Star Genos has definitely been undervalued as far as just an option, and Console's really the only people that ever bring it out, so I like it.
It was good. Overall, G-Pan being able to play the binary star, the things that we've seen in the past that have been successful on a couple of teams, but it's been, I guess, exactly what they wanted in that scenario, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you have the option to go to binary star, do that extra damage, or you can go the Luminary, but if you run it with ferocity like that, then you just have 2 extra damage sources. It goes back to what we were talking about in set number 2 today, where it's just, that's an extra amount of damage that you're not thinking about.
Because it's all range. This is a map that can benefit off of range. And when you have already very hard to catch characters in the Genos and the Grover, both mobility plus high ground mobility in Grover's case, giving them damage too and saying, come at me, the way Console is drafting, they like backline. No one's playing Zen. No one's playing Zen on Console right now. So, I mean, punish them. Punish teams that want to go to maps without drafting dive. We saw that when Koga was available, SoldierBot put it to the test and said, this is how we're going to get the job done. If you're not drafting enough pressure, then I say you keep making them pay.
And now we're going to Stone Keep. Splitstone Quarry was a 4-0. Stone Keep, depending on the draft, might follow the same route. We'll have to see who it would be for. But here's the most important question of all. When do we get Taco Bell waifu merch?
Oh my god, I thought you were going to say, when do we get Taco Bell? Because I was like,
Taco Bell waifu merch.
Are we getting that?
I need
Is
a
that
t-shirt.
Oh my, yes.
Maybe a hat with a logo. I need the whole works.
Well, it would for sure have to only show up as waifu, because the second you printed Taco Bell,
oh yeah, no, we wouldn't be able to wear it.
Yeah,
and also he would probably get
real world copy
sued.
strike sued, exactly, which is not what you want to deal with. Trust me.
If it leans too heavy on the waifu, I'm out.
And
It's the blend of the words that
you're
really
just
make the
waifu.
merch.
So then you're like really going, you're showing up as an anime stan, and people are like, you're gonna gain some friends, but you're gonna make some enemies. That's for sure.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Speaking of making friends, maybe making enemies here. Genos locked in, #1 this time around. Cats on Mars grab him. Is it going to be Binary Star? Is it going to be Luminary? That's the glory.
That's what we talked about. If you are using Binary Star or Luminary, which are both valuable on console and in the 3DS, that becomes a better pick. First pick it, yeah. I mean, second pick phase, cool, but first pick it, it's got that value now because of the utilization they can bring to it. They don't have to actually draft another DPS if they don't want to. This could be their second.
And this time they're not going to be able to do as much, I think, in tandem with, obviously Talus, Tyra, Vivian all banned out. So Victor going the way of E-Storm, probably going the way of Counter. But you get just as much, if not more, aggression. Ashe probably going to be able to be probably the most aggressive frontline I've seen today.
Yeah.
As well as with Khan there, another hit scan brought into the equation to cause a little bit more trouble and a lot of distress for E-Storm.
And looking back at the last set when we saw Khan actually in the first 2 games play a huge role. And once heating up, we're able to ban out Khan and not allow that to be on the table. It became a huge, they couldn't figure it out. Like Fernando, that was awesome. You saw a lot of different ways that they shifted to Barrack and the other Shutter tried to do that. But really, when you had the aggression of the Khan and the Ashe, it's, in this meta, it seems to be so successful for teams.
Don't worry,
Stonekey.
subjects.
Strix is coming out, and I feel like I should stop being surprised by snipers picked up on some of these maps, specifically because I've seen this work before. How do you feel about it?
I think that the sniper has worked in history past. It has worked. I guess that's a redundant
But
thing
are
to
you
say.
Hecate?
Well, it's not even that. It used to be meta on this map before the changes to the length, the focal change. So that now we stopped seeing them here. There's a time we saw snipers on every map that they could be played on. But I think that this is just another bit of spice that we've seen Cats on Mars continue to show us, and they're proven to be a better team. E-Storm are going to have to react to this. Cats on Mars feel like they could pick whatever.
And if memory serves me correctly, this is something Cool Matt will run on this map. This is something Cool Matt has no issues running. So it's probably going to look clean.
Yeah. It's
and
really
I'm
good.
Expecting it to be, especially with that lineup, probably a Luminary boost, which makes these shots hit even harder.
Ow.
So it's going to be a very dangerous scenario to be in. If you're Victor on E-Storm right now, make sure you keep your head tucked in. We're going to Stone Keep. The snipers are out. Bomb King was thrown in the mix as well. Let's see how it goes.
Got Luminary, you would assume. Luminary Genos coming out this time with and it is Luminary. Got the Strix, G-Pan on the Bomb King as well. On the opposite side, Kalu on the Leon. Counter finds himself back onto the Victor. Got the Makoa and Nara as well. We're going to separate Grover and Genos this time around, so they're going to be on opposite sides.
Yes,
A little bit of spice still, though, coming out for Cats on Mars. You got the Strix.
That's bold.
That's an infrequent pick here, I would say, on Stone Keep. Flare doing a little bit of damage.
Look at that. Through the stairs. He knows what he's looking to do here.
Wait.
This is some Paladins actually, despite what you might say about the actual character hitboxes, the environment hitboxes are very finely tuned, very, very tight as to what they actually appear to be and what you can shoot through. There's no, fences or no staircases. If there's a hole there, it's more than likely that something can go through it. A bullet, a grenade. Cool, Matt. Looking clean.
1v1 me on Rust, he says. He's going to drop a kill here. A nice quick scope from Cool Matt. Cats on Mars picking up right where they left off. 21% for them. E-Storm back in their base at the moment. And this is kind of where I think the Strix thrives. I mean, he now does not have to worry. I mean, he has the Ashe essentially calling out folks who are potentially going to be pushing him from that left side. He can just kind of hang back here, long range, plug away some shots. I'm sure he'll be happy to do just that. Struck User's going to find a kill here on a Cats on Mars. So the healer's down, but a nice double kill from Cool Matt. I don't need the sniper when I can switch over to the pistol. Finds himself 2 on that one. He's going to plug away at the Liana as well. One more is all he needs.
Back up!
Oh, no.
She didn't back
That was a
She didn't want
200
the hands.
IQ positioning there.
She
One
didn't want the
step back would have been a life-ending mistake there. Cats on Mars find themselves point number 1. 3-5 streaks for them. Cool Matt and G-Pan continuing their tear. The barrage is out, potentially in a bit of a weird spot, but he keeps himself alive, at least for a moment. He does get traded out. Taco Bell Waifu is going to be the one to clean that one up. Now we get to see Cats on Mars try their hand at some offense here on Stone Keep. If it's anything like their point fight, it'll be pretty good.
Boy, that is a very good Strix gun, too. The sounds on it.
Yeah.
The animation of the barrel cycling. Look at that. This is a top-tier weapon. I need to play more Strix.
What is it called?
It's like
No, it's
like a stormtrooper kind of vibe, bounty hunter
some sort
looking
of
dude.
technology Strix.
Man,
Because his main sniper has like rocks and sticks and leaves on it. So now you get like ultimate tech Strix.
Cavemans versus baboons.
That's right. Who would win? In this case, the Cats on Mars are going to be the ones to win. 2-0 up here on Stone Keep. 3 kills to the name of E-Storm. 7 alone to the name of Cool Matt. Top 4 damage dealers on blue. G-Pan making his presence felt as well. They got a pretty good 1-2 punch here at Cats on Mars too. I mean, they have the long range,
Do they ever?
inch perfect shots coming out from the Strix, and then you have G-Pan who can just run you down, run down those low health targets with the bombs. So it's a scary lineup to deal with, and Cats on Mars continuing to show that they'll throw some interesting picks your way and make you a little uncomfortable.
3, 2,
Man,
1.
this is looking like something that's hard to stop when you're playing, especially Strix is really the only one that's kind of out there for Stone Keep.
Yeah, right. Oh, Mr. Pickles!
That could be big. That was almost a triple. He basically killed Grover as well, and the fight's over before it even started.
Well, we've been in round 3 here or I guess round 2, point number 3 for about 15 seconds. A beautiful through time and space opens it, and then the floodgates, well, that kind of explains itself there.
I almost yeeted so hard when I saw that laser approaching up, but I figured out I was pretty obnoxious in the last round when you were casting a point fight, so I didn't want to like
No, it's okay.
too much gas, too much sauce on the fire.
No, sauce it, drench it. Give me some of that Taco Bell hot and spicy sauce.
Yes, the Taco Bell waifu. Look
Taco
at this
Bell
king
waifu
bomb.
sauce.
That could be something to be behold here. 2 out of the gate, off the cuff. The 2,500 damage is enough there. Swinging for the fences to pick up 1 more. I like what I'm seeing from this king.
G-Pan's playing well. The Bomb King. Yeah, confidence is key here in this case. Now E-Storm find themselves back against the wall yet again. 5 minutes into the game here on Stone Keep. Quick look at the slash lines if we could. I believe Strix, I thought Waifu might have been Undying as well, but unkilled so far is the Strix. 14 streak, playing it well. Cool Matt keeping himself nice and far back, finding the damage that he needs to find. Kalua's going to do that just at the moment. Clever Pup's going to be the one to go down on Cats on Mars, so a little bit of time bought here for them. But Cool Matt will thrive here as well. I mean, there's a lot of space here where the Strix can do well. Up here, up top, up high is one of those places. Ancient Rage is going to come out, find a little bit of utility for it. The Barrage combined with it for a kill here on the G-Pan. Now they're going to push out and try to buy themselves some space, but they utilized a lot of ultimate utility to get that space. Ooh.
Yes, sir. Everybody's
Whacked him in the head.
Everybody's kind of taking command.
It's hard to point out one specific person when everyone's making plays here. Cool Matt, inches away here from finishing off counter. I mean, it's hard when you step out of your base. It's hard to defend when you step out of your base and are immediately, I wouldn't even call that half health, when you're immediately at like a fifth of health. Danger zone.
Oh, man.
Cool Matt, nice. Immortal, 11 in a row. This one's shortly going through here. The Enlightenment's going to buy some time. Oh, the falling headshot from Cool Matt. He's going to find him 1. The Oppen swap is going to find him number 2 here.
Damn. He's clean.
He's clean. Squeaky
That's
clean.
nasty. I mean, the crack shot pistol, that's the one I think one of the highest DPS weapons in the game.
Must be.
If you're just plugging away all those
Must
bonus
be.
damage shots. It's getting his bread for sure.
He's getting his bread. Who's the PPL intro? That's Rubu, who has the loaf of bread from
Haven't
the,
seen that
from
one
the
in a while.
casuals.
Yeah.
Well, Cats on Mars go up 2-0 here. They're looking really great. Let's send it back to the desk.
I don't know if Nick was saying he hasn't seen that clip in a while, because that would be since the last time we saw Envy, or if he hasn't seen that bread in a while, in which case Rubu might have stolen our bread.
And that would be a problem since we're now not getting Taco Bell and you lied to me.
I never said we were getting
You
Taco
did.
Bell. I said, when are we
You just
getting
kept on
Taco
talking.
Bell waifu?
Well, if I was
merchandise.
when are we getting Taco
Which
Bell?
I don't even know what that would be, but find yourself a good graphic designer.
Yeah, you know what? Those are hard to come by. No, I'm serious. They're very hard to come by. You know what? To me, we're not going to get too far in it because it was a good game. Obviously, continued domination. But just to quickly point out, I had to try to search for a lot of graphic designers. It's rare to find a guy like Joe who just you could tell him what you want, and he does it. Most of the time, they really need so much direction that, at this point, it's very difficult. And cool, Matt, man, 13-0 with the Strix. We said the crack shot would work out. Turns out he's a crack shot.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. He's the one who had most of the highlights. Talk about Waifu was 7-1-13. That one I just threw out mainly because the slash line was impressive, but also because I like saying the name. It makes me laugh. But Cool Matt
You like saying Taco
was
Bell.
probably the one that was the best out of all of that. And I mean, the beginning of the round, double kill like that. But then you roll into round number 2.
Yeah.
And it's just an explosive, I think Dave said 15 seconds, really, where it's just like it goes from 5-on-5 to 5-on-none really, really fast.
Real quick.
It was one of those few moments where, I mean, this was
Great shots.
domination from Cats on Mars.
It's just some great shots, man. I'm very happy to see people growing in the scene and continuing to, bring out very champion pools. And as much as you can really denote, a lot of the console guys got in, and we're not having a big discussion on this. This may be something for Esports Weekly, or a lot of the guys were talking about, oh man, now we're playing against minor league teams, PPL potentially, blah, blah, blah. The fact that now you have this great opportunity to still, despite that, see them growing in a direction where they're getting better, they're choosing different things.
Yeah.
It's a different experience, watching console and watching PC in a good way, because they show you different champions you just don't get to see. And that is really what's going to be interesting.
Yeah, when it comes to the MSI.
Yes, that's really what's going to be interesting. Just the champion. Like, will we see a console team pull out a binary star Genos? And will it actually maybe work? And maybe I don't know.
I'm down for this.
I'm
see
down.
this.
Like, I think there's a couple of real gems that could come through from this.
I'm actually interested to see because, again, in my eyes, Elevate, the other team in this region that has kind of been dominating, is that team that right now is trying all those other things, right? They're pulling out the things that we would usually see in, like, the minor league, the PPL, but they're playing it here on console, but they're also willing to stick with the same console things as well, so kind of balancing it out. Of course, now we get one more, potentially, map, maybe more if eStorm can turn it around. We've seen it happen today, but it was not as dominating as the first 2 games as we've seen from Cats on Mars. But now we're on Ice Mines. You get rid of the Genos, which has been causing you a lot of trouble in 2 different ways now. The Victor, the Talus, the Torvald, which leaves open the Vivian and the Tyra.
Yeah.
Your friends aren't
I don't know.
safe.
It's always tough to see Ice Mines be the pick when you're down 2-0, 4-0, 4-0. It's always tough because it does seem that there's just simply a team issue. Ice Mines usually never saves you when your team is just kind of outclassing them. And it also doesn't give you a lot of great information because if you lose 4 on Ice Mines, well, maybe you should have taken that to, Ascension Peak. Maybe you should have taken that to Shattered Desert, which people are playing more and more often. Maybe you should have taken that somewhere, got some real map experience that might be translatable for other things. Serpent Beach is one that's throwing people off. That used to be a standard. Serpent Beach, we're seeing people have drastically different performances on now, and Jag is getting banned more and more. So, I mean, I'd feel a little bit more confident learning some lessons on that one.
We need to start a petition. Make Timber Mill the new Ice Mines. Instead of going down, when you're down 2-0, go to Timber Mill.
Go to Timber Mill.
Stop doing Ice Mines. It doesn't work anymore.
I agree. I agree with that one. It is much more of the map that people play the least now. Timber Mill, I think, is it. Fish Market is probably the second least played map. But I think Timber Mill is certainly above Ice Mines. Ice Mines gets played a lot.
This might not be the case as much across console, but I think across all of our leagues, Fish Market is probably the #1 banned map. Like most teams. Well, actually, maybe not, because a lot of teams just unspokenly don't go there. And the same thing can be said for Timber Mill. But then you get those teams, like specifically Na'Vi, bans it every chance they get, except for the one time it mattered, in which case they lost the World Championship.
Yep. That's where they go to lose.
It's not a good look to have.
But I'll tell you what, I like eStorm adjusting with Ruckus. I like that they picked this up. Again, it's more of 2 aggressive tanks that are going to have a hard time really shifting in terms of now we want to sustain on the point. They're going to have to win with aggression or they're going to probably lose, especially with a Grover or Whirlwind topping everyone off, getting resets like that. Really it's going to be a lot up to this Damba too. He's got to keep him nice and healthy.
Well, Bomb King locked in for Cats on Mars. Tyra's looking good. Their draft is pretty similar, but just different enough to potentially give them a leg up. It's Ice Mines, so everything's going to be a little different. I'm glad to not see Strix here, but I kind of want to know how they're going to be able to pull it out. Do you think Cats on Mars are closing this out?
He's actually here, Gore.
Oh, he is?
But he's invisible. He actually did get drafted. He just has stealth mode on.
Okay, well, hey, the casters are ready to take us to Ice Mines. We're going to go ahead and jump over there and see if they can spot the invisible Strix.
Where is he?
Did you bring Illuminate?
I just saw the door. I didn't. I didn't buy Illuminate. Evan would be pissed.
Sheesh.
I didn't buy it. It's so cheap. Buy it. I saw the door open, but it shut a second ago, so I don't know. Strix is in here somewhere. And if Cool Matt's playing it,
We're toast.
We're
toast.
toasted.
Ooh,
Only one yeet.
been a good boy today.
Nick. Oh, I thought it was a dab counter. That's right. It's a yeet counter. Only one yeet so far here today from Nick.
Maybe we can start a dab counter for you. I don't know.
We should not. We should
If
start a
that-
Hecate dab
that's up to
counter.
you.
If anyone's getting a dab counter, it's Hecate
That's
for
true,
sure.
actually, yeah.
Cats on Mars, their win counter is up to 2 here. Looking for win number 3 to put it away. Headed down to Ice Mines. Getting a little chilly here, potentially, to round out the day.
Are there any good Yeet champions on this map?
Dredge, Hurl Dredge, except we saw Hurl Dredge on Frog Isle. But let's see. I mean, I guess you could yeet. Mr. Pickles could yeet. Yeet, Con yeets.
Listen, I don't want to be the over Yeet guy, so we'll
Are
see.
you an over yeeter?
I'm trying not
You
to
gain weight if you over yeet.
be. I love this new title. It's so hot right now. Ooh, and the new Fernando skin. This is so hot right now.
Ooh,
For sure.
what is this, a map for ants?
This is the
Talk-
the Pixel Boys.
The Pixel
I haven't seen
boys.
this skin yet. I don't even think I have this in game yet.
I don't think so either. It looks really good, though.
Have not copped.
But right off the bat, we see Eaststorm pretty split off to the side here. Struck user is going to be the first to fall. Counter over here in the corner, likely to be next. Just kind of
make a move,
chilling,
buddy. Okay.
rat-a-tat-tatting away at that shield.
I will stand this ground, Mr. President. You will
then he
not
did.
move me.
And then you die.
I
It's
will
effective.
die on this hill if it requires. If I do declare. Why Vivian would sound like that, I don't know.
I was gonna say,
But
Vivian's
actions
sounds weirdly
speak louder than
like
words,
an old
Dave.
man. That's true. The actions spoke the words there in that case. Cats on Mars find themselves up 1-0 here on Ice Mines, and this is so now you're looking at Eaststorm. This is why you would pick Ice Mines. You sort of know that the point fight hasn't been in your favor. We're gonna be playing defense a lot. It's potentially an easier map to defend on. So you know you go 1-0 down, tied up 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, so on and so forth. So this is where Eaststorm now need to make their stand if they're going to want to hope at winning this game. Finding a kill there is going to be a good way to start it off, but Clever Pup unfortunately turns it on its head.
He does. I was laughing at Bomb King's just like lifeless body slowly rolling down the stairs there. And he still has like the lights in his eyes don't go out, so he's still just giving you that cold stare that you hate to see if you're toe-to-toe with the King, though. That's just not slowing down despite losing a couple people. Dishonor's trying to keep it going. Trying to slow it down, I guess I should say, with this Tempest, but this is chaos.
You know, credit to Eaststorm. It's been pretty even here on the defensive end. 1:20 seconds left, though, so still plenty of time for Cats on Mars to go ahead and push it through. And they're just rolling around with this Grover right now. Exactly how you would hope it to get played. Untitled Games hasn't made an impact yet. 000s in his slash line. Granted, there hasn't been much of an opportunity to, as they've had 2 kills on their side. Trying to do math. 7, 8, 9 on Cats on Mars side. 54 seconds left, though, here. Some ultimates ready. The King Bomb's around if they want to utilize that to get this one pushed through, as well as the Crossfire and the Immortal.
Ooh.
Shoulder bash comes up just short, unless he was aiming for the wall, in which case it was spot on. In this case, Waifu drops Struck User. This could be the opening that they're looking for to get it pushed through. The Khan's going to be the next to fall.
Yeah.
Kalua is the next one to go down. Dishonor is the target in everyone else's sights. Counter just bouncing in and out. Not even going to need the kill. 2-0 up goes Cats on Mars here on Ice Mines.
It's a good little fight there from Cats on Mars to get that one pushed through. Pretty high efficiency offense as well, just using the Crossfire. Not a super critical ultimate for their team fight. The King Bomb, the Assert Dominance, and the Immortal are probably going to be their best bets. With how quick that round was, I don't know if anyone from Eaststorm actually was able to get Cauterize on the line. That could prove very fruitful for Mr. Pickles. And yeah, everybody kind of like transitioned away from Cauterize, which is kind of interesting. There is a lot of shielding on this squad for Cats on Mars. It's usually in that case you have somebody go to like a wreck or 2, and then somebody else has to be the Cauterize guy. So Having a foot in each door in the case of Cauterize and Wrecker is not always the best idea, because really until you get to 2, you're still going to lose that fight. It's still enough sustained sneaking through to make a big, big difference.
Speaking of sneaking through, Clever Pup has found his way all the way around the E-Storm lineup here. Counter's going to go low. He is going to get cleaned up. That's a very nice flank here from Clever Pup. Is the damage there to follow up on it, though? Only 92% on the ultimate. Maybe hoping that there would be an opening to utilize the Assert Dominance. Doesn't come out. The Whirlwind is going to get those health bars nice and full for the red team here. E-Storm back onto the back foot. 48, 51% and climbing here. This could be the last round of the day for the Console League. If Cats on Mars continue, all 5 of them streaking out right now. They're looking good.
That was an extremely high-value team fight for Cats on Mars. They got a lot out of that, just small Ash rotation.
Yep.
Huge out of the Immortal. She was able to rotate, stay alive.
Quadra
is going to get the Quadra kill now. Probably not that Penta. Hits the big Whirlwind as well. A lot of great stuff happening for Cats on Mars. And enough to bring them all the way through. They didn't have comeback mechanic like E-Storm did, but because they spaced their ultimates out and got full value for each and every one of them, they were able to have enough steam to cross the finish line.
The ultimate finish line, though, is another 4-0 here for Cats on Mars, and they're getting close. They have 2 minutes left, already halfway there. Counter's going to stall things out just a little bit here. That's a Dread Serpent. It's going to be good for 1 fear on the Clever Pup. The stun as well coming out. So trading back and forth just a little bit here. Payload's getting close, though. Minute 45 seconds left. Did not have too much resistance getting out of their base. Here's a little bit of resistance coming out for E-Storm, finding a couple kills. Cats on Mars on the back foot, but I think they're really just going to look at this point just to charge up some of those ultimates. They utilized a bunch of them to get that point captured. So now, you know, you 83%, 77%, 50 on a couple. So they're really just going to try to get those charged up. Of course, if you can push them in without, you're happy. But they'll be okay to just kind of plug away, find some damage here, get those ultimates ready with the Hex Fire up on the other side.
Slowing down just a little bit here. Vivian's actually running pretty low on HP, but able to get top back up there. Nice little pocket from Damba across the way. A little bit of hurry up and wait as the payload needs to kind of cross a big elbow turn here to get towards the base. Squared up for the finish of the game. The crescendo. Vivian will actually win this 1v1 unless that shield goes down. She has record 2 though, so she goes right through it. Cool Matt says, "What up, girl?" Takes her out, sends her flying back down the stairs.
Oh,
2
nice.
more for the boys in red. They look like they're primed and ready to end this.
Looks like they are. A high-value sticky bomb there from the Bomb King himself. Finds a double. Cats on Mars find themselves a clean. I don't think they dropped a point today. It was a clean 12-0 day there for Cats on Mars, and well, they just look really, really good. Unfortunately, they have to go against Elevate as the top team in that region, so that's where their eyes need to be turned at the moment. Well played to them. They look great today. E-Storm got some stuff to figure out, though, I think, on their side, but pretty quick day overall, I would say, for the boys and Cats on Mars. Let's send it back to the desk.
Well, Cats on Mars have definitely been taking the steps they need to rise in the ranks. But like Dave said, the ultimate goal is eventually beating Elevate, which is a completely different task than it is, say, going up against E-Storm here.
Well, they sure know a couple of things about elevation because they are on Mars and we are on Earth. So therefore, I have to say that it is
Elevate
possible.
is only a mountain.
Elevate, exactly. I mean, you're gonna scale.
And I mean, like, what are mountains on Earth compared to Olympus Mons?
Compared to freaking, I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot on Mars that I think that if you can really traverse that as a cat wearing headphones, you should be able to put up a fight against Elevate. We already saw that first set between Heating Up and Onslaught. That was kind of that rematch. So contentious. 5 games. Hopefully we can see the same thing when those two reunite.
Being able to come through. Of course, we've got a pretty interesting matchup. Unfortunately for Counter, didn't get to be able to do too much. 2-7 there. The cool Matt, G-Pan, 8-2, 8-2-12, 6-2-11.
Yeah.
And then Clever Pup, who again, this is a player who I feel like joined 2-3 weeks ago. Like, I remember distinctly not seeing him after a little bit, or for a little bit, and then when he joins in, and again, a shoe-in right now, I would say, for one of the better Ashes that we've seen on console, definitely in this region and on this console for this, because of how aggressive he was willing to be, and that's the thing I'm loving so far right now.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, it's a Clever Pup on Cats on Mars. He's got to find a way to fit in, and one of the best ways to be accepted into the Cat crew is to pop off, especially on a map that no one's excited to play. I mean, let's be honest. No one's excited for Ice Mines. No one's excited.
Make
the history of Paladins, no one's been excited for Ice Mines. But You know, it's a gruel, it's a grind, and when you can 4-0 on this map, it means you know what you're doing as a team, and that's clearly where Cats on Mars are.
You know, there was one person very recently I remember being excited about Ice Mines. It was when Dave got to cast his first Ice Mines game.
Yeah,
cool,
I haven't seen this map.
Cool. Yeah, and then
Dave's bringing enough
enough energy for
optimism
the
for the rest of us for, I mean, anything. You know, we could be down and sad or tired or emotionally distraught after this weekend, and Dave is just, he's right there ready to go. So I appreciate Dave for that.
Well, we do have the standings after that set. Of course, we're going to see Cats on Mars go up by 3 in their map differential. Retaliation seem to have gone down by 3, just the same as Eaststorm. Pretty much the exact same standard, just add 3 to everyone's count, or subtract 3, depending on the bottom two. Elevate are now 3-0, 7 times in a row. And it seems like they actually had a DQ up against Elevate today, which, admittedly, I'm going to go ahead and throw this one out there. I don't think that skewed the results
I'm going to go ahead
much.
and say that it wouldn't have changed much.
It just means Elevate got to spend a little more time with their family.
Here's the thing. You know what? Maybe you get a map. Maybe it makes a difference. The only issue is, though, they're looking at the stats. They're like 21 plus. I mean, even Cats on Mars are only 7 plus.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I mean, even if you win, I don't know if that, it might be statistically impossible unless Elevate get 0-3 for the rest of the season to even catch up.
It's going to be difficult.
That's 14 points.
Yeah, it's not going to be a very easy matchup.
I don't know how that
Either
happens.
way, you can look at what happened today.
Looking good.
A lot of 3-0s, except for the one set. Onslaught end up losing a reverse sweep to Heating Up. Probably the biggest story for this week, just being able to see that. Because those two teams have been changing a lot. And not just because of the fact that, you know, some members have, again, either left, changed the way they were playing, or been suspended, depending on who you're talking about. It's still going to be kind of finding themselves and fighting for that first place spot. Whereas everybody else seems to be pretty much kind of solidified.
Cats on Mars so handily dealt with Eaststorm that they can't count on Eaststorm to beat Elevate. And the fact that Retaliation didn't even try or DQ'd or however that worked out, I don't really know what I'm saying. That kind of sucks for Cats on Mars, because Cats on Mars can't beat them 3 times now. There's not chances enough. I don't think they have enough games with each other. So, you know, I don't know how that's going to work, but you have to count on Eaststorm now to be the ones to get that second loss, because I don't think you can do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw that one
under
impossible.
I'm going to go ahead and say congratulations, Elevate. No, I'm kidding.
Either way, no, it's going to be an interesting run for them. And, of course, now we can look at next week's schedule. We'll see who exactly has to deal with Elevate in that region. It's going to be Cats on Mars this time around. Maybe they can find it. That's going to be an offline game. We're going to be blessed with Retaliation and Eaststorm. Onslaught going up against Low-Key Scheming, Heating Up, and Big Money Esports. I'm reading from the bottom up. I'm not sure why. Up at the top, you have Aaron Manor and Stush. Flashpoint up against Aerial Arise. That's going to be a good set.
Let me give a shout-out to Blue, who does a lot of work with us on the console side of things and continues to keep us updated on any changes that would be very hard unless you were in the know to know before broadcast. He likes to sometimes stream and cast the offline games. This is a week you might want to check out his stream, or just at least check out his Twitter. You'll be able to find where he streams there, but because he goes over some of those matches a lot of the times, it's really good to catch up, and that's an important match. I mean, if Elevate win, I think that secures essentially first place for them.
Especially if it's a 3-0.
You probably want to see how that unfolds.
And it's one of those things, they've been dominating that region. It's going to be very tough on Cats on Mars to be able to come out. But even a single map win, I think, is going to be big for them. Of course, that's next week. Today did not quite go, well, actually, today went their way heavily. They find that 3-0, 12 points in a row. I mean, that's it. That's the day. Done, dusted, covered. Everybody was able to come out. Maybe not exactly the way they wanted. I'm sure Heating Up wished they had that one more map, but that's going to do it for the Console League today. Tomorrow morning, Minor League. Wednesday, Esports Weekly. Thursday, Friday, Paladins Premier League. Make sure you keep tuning in. Follow the channel. But until next time, we'll be seeing you. The Paladins Console League, brought to you by Skillshot, Evil Mojo, INAP, SteelSeries, and Respawn.